evening, the country is in the grip of an extreme weather emergency as it's hit by the most crippling snowstorm since the early 1980s. Well, dangerous blizzard conditions are sweeping right across the country, and over the next half hour, we'll bring you the latest on the progress of the storm. Up to 40 centimetres of snow is predicted in some areas as high winds from Storm Emma cause potential drifting. The entire country is still on a red weather alert, the highest warning level. Well, we have reporters across the country. In a moment, they'll be telling us how things are in the locations where they'll be sitting out the passing storm. But first, let's look at how the country has been plunged into a snow and ice emergency. It's the most severe cold weather event this country has experienced for nearly 4 decades. The entire country is on red alert for snow and ice as the freezing breath of the beast from the east clashes with Storm Emma. So we've got Siberian air down over Ireland, Britain and much of Central and Northern Europe. And as the milder air comes up from the south, it clashes and it's going to produce that band of snow. And that's why we've been warning of blizzard-like conditions, because this band of snow will be accompanied by gale force easterly winds. So high winds and snow means blizzard-like conditions. Public safety in this extraordinary weather is the main priority, and people are urged to stay inside.
The risk to life and limb presented by severe weather conditions should not be underestimated by anyone. Winds of up to 100 kilometres an hour will persist with heavy snow and could result in zero visibility and whiteout conditions. Snow will gather in deep drifts, and it's not safe to be outside in such conditions. No one should be on the roads, and we're asking everyone to be home and safe and to remain indoors until the severe weather has passed tomorrow.
Blizzards are tightening their grip over the east and south of the country first.
The blizzard conditions will continue throughout tonight, and temperatures will be extremely low, below -4. And there'll be strong gale force northeast winds with the snowfalls. This will create the conditions which underline our advice not to venture out of doors while these conditions persist.
There are some people still out. We would urge them to get home as quickly as possible, because while they feel it might be safe at the moment, this storm front could move into their area very quickly, and the safest place to be is at home.
There's also a freeze on public transport. Nationwide, Bus Éireann's operations are suspended for the rest of the day and will be reviewed again tomorrow. Irish Rail did have a limited service earlier today, but trains won't run on any routes tomorrow. And in the capital, Dublin bus and Luas services are cancelled and won't resume until Saturday. Earlier today, some flights did land and take off from this frosty runway at Dublin Airport, but as conditions worsened, all planes were grounded. They're unlikely to fly tomorrow either, leaving many frustrated passengers stranded.
We got on the plane at 6:30 this morning. It was all frozen up, and they got the big units out to defrost it. And as soon as they defrosted it, it froze up again. So he sat on the plane for 6 hours when we were told they'd actually cancelled the flight. Came into the airport, and Ryanair turned around and said, well, all flights now cancelled over the weekend until Saturday. So I've got to stay in the airport now until Saturday.
You were supposed to fly to Amsterdam today, and our flight got cancelled literally 15 minutes before we were supposed to board. We're after being waiting in this queue for a whole 2 hours for them to tell us that, like, it's all closed and all. Like, I'm absolutely disgusted.
Shannon Airport too is closed for the rest of the evening and will reopen on Saturday morning. High winds overnight may cause some electricity outages, and the ESB says its crews are on standby to respond when it's safe to do so, meaning customers might have to wait a little longer than usual. Before the 4 o'clock warning to get inside kicked in, many made a last dash to the shops to stock up on essentials. And it's people buying milk, breads, wine, briquettes, solid fuel, yeah.
And have you all your supplies in? Have you got everything you need? I think so, yeah. But I have that sensation that I should be getting something else. I'm not quite sure what.
There were even queues out the door in some areas, while others made the most of the total whiteout, here in Dublin's Phoenix Park and down in Wicklow.
Great, yeah, it's nice to get a bit of time off work, and the kids are really enjoying it, so we're having good fun. And neither of them have really had snow since they've been born, so they're both really out and enjoying it, yeah, so good crack.
But as the blizzard conditions start to whip up, the future of Wicklow's newest residents is now uncertain. Laura Hogan, 3 News. Right, let's find out how conditions are out there this evening. We have reporters in all of the worst hit areas and beyond. First, let's go to Aisling Nicushtala, who's in County Kildare. So, Aisling, what are conditions like there? Well, Colette, it's eerily quiet in Maynooth and County Kildare here this evening. We're in the car park of the Glen Royal Hotel in the middle of the town. The hotel's JCB parked up here beside me. It was used throughout the morning to make this entire area clear, to get rid of all the snow, so that their guests, and they're a full hotel here tonight, people working in the area who can't get home, could come in and access the car park. I'll just bring you this direction and you'll see the amount of snow that's in the car park. A lot of the cars that have been parked here throughout the day are now covered in snow. It gives you an idea of the amount of snow that fell here in Maynooth today. And as well as that snow, there's really a very strong swirling wind here today. So it's a combination of both the wind and the falling snow that is making things quite dangerous. Temperatures here today really haven't risen above 0 degrees. It feels bitterly cold. We're well wrapped up, and nobody else seems to be on the streets in or around the place. The cars that were on the road earlier today, they're now all gone. And I think for a lot of people, especially in this area here tonight and right around the country, it's a case really of batten down the hatches and just to see what the next few hours will bring. Aisling, thank you very much for that. Well, let's get the picture now from the southeast of the country. Paul Byrne is in Waterford, and a few people still out and about, Paul, despite that advisory to stay indoors after 4 o'clock.
There are a number of people, the odd straggler going up and down, and as I said earlier, a few people have been kind of saying, oh geez, what's after happening, where's the end of the world, but we just don't know. It's certainly in the last 10 minutes started getting a lot livelier with the wind and extremely cold. I just want to move from Waterford to Cork and Kerry at the moment, because Irish Water and Kerry County Council have issued a warning to homeowners and business owners to conserve water. Otherwise, they may have to impose restrictions at some stage over the weekend. Also, the local authorities in Cork City and County have issued flood warnings for Cork City, traffic restrictions in place from tomorrow morning, and also a flood warning for many parts of East Cork. Local authorities across the country are advising people to check their websites, because there's valuable information on all of their websites if people are looking for sandbags in case there's flooding, or if they need salt or grit or anything like that. And emergency contact lines are available as well on websites belonging to Cork City County Council and the City Council, as well as Kerry County Council. Also, Ryanair in the last couple of moments have issued a press release to say that all flights in and out of Dublin, Cork, Kerry, Shannon and Knock airports have been cancelled this evening, and also for tomorrow. On sporting fixtures, lots and lots of them have been cancelled right across the country. Éire Óg, a GA club in Cork, they've cancelled their ladies football registration night for tomorrow night, Friday. That's postponed until a later date. Right now, certainly, as I said, it's getting windier, it's getting colder, and everybody still prepared for the worst.
Paul, thank you very much for that. Well, Eric Clark is in Kilkenny this evening, and Eric, things set to get much worse where you are.
Yes, as we're further inland here, the worst of the weather is not really expected to hit until a little bit later on this evening, but that 4 o'clock deadline or curfew applies here as it does across the rest of the country as well, and people do seem to be heeding it for the most part. There are still some people out walking around. I was down out on the streets of Kilkenny myself just to have a look around a short time ago.